It's happening.
What?
I think we're in.
We're in. All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Jen with Two Rivers Books and Weird Sisters Yarn. We're here today with Zipporah from Reading is Resistance and Leonora Vargas from the Multnomah County Library, our St. John's branch here. She is she's bilingual and she is their library assistant.
Hello there, hola.
Just a quick update. Our craft fair last weekend went fantastically. Thank you to everybody who came out for that. This weekend, we are actually taking the weekend off. We're going to be closed from Friday through Monday. And then I think the next big thing on our calendar, a brioche knitting class. I'll learn a quick, simple hat to learn how to knit brioche. And we're really excited about the Cathedral Park Jazz Festival that's actually moving online this year. We're running a fundraiser. Check our newsletter and our website for more information on helping them, supporting them in getting that online and staying free for the community. And with that, I'm going to turn it over.
Oh, I can hear you.
I was muted.
Okay.
I'm not muted. Hello. I was just posting. It's hard to know who's here watching us. So I said, if you're here, post an emoji of how you're doing. So we'll see if we have listeners. I'm so happy to have you here, Leonora. I'm just going to do a little intro and then you can introduce yourself and what your expertise is. And I just wanted to say that, so I live in St. John's and I'm Zipporah from Reading is Resistance. And we are frequent library goers. And Leonora was one of the first librarians that we bonded with my little baby readers. So it is such a pleasure to be here with her. I kind of consider her like a library mentor and was so warm and welcoming. And that's such an important part of the library is like, it's part of a community of people. So we've been really missing that. So it's so lovely that we're here today to talk together and especially to highlight Latinx authors and writing. And I just can't wait. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? What your job is and.
Oh, of course, yes. My name is Leonora Ramírez Vargas. Nací en Morelia, Michoacán, México, y moví a Estados Unidos. Oh, speaking in Spanish, ¿verdad? I moved from Mexico 27 years ago and directly from my hometown to Portland, Oregon, which I really like. I like the greens, I like the vibe, and I like the library. I'm a mother of 3 kids. I start visiting the library. What's the sound? Well, I hear some sounds, but I hope you are able to listen to me clearly. And there you go. I'm from Mexico. I'm a immigrant from Mexico. I started working in the public houses, and 13 years ago, I became to work for the library as a bilingual assistant.
I think it's feedback. You may have more than one microphone on.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
Okay. We're going to work it out. I see Jessica. Hello. Do we have any other friends live? If you're here, put an emoji of how you're doing so we know that you're here. Say hi. Leonora's working on her audio right now. Oh, technology. It brings us together and sometimes does bad things. Okay, she's going to reconnect.
Okay, can you hear me?
Oh, very echoey. It wasn't before. I don't know. It's weird.
I took this one. Is that better? No.
They wasn't doing that in the. We were not doing that before. I just want to say we did test this. We're very professional.
Yes, we are.
While we're working on this, I put a link in the chat for our July book picks. So I hope that you all will check that out. We are recommending some summer reading picks each month. One of them is this lovely book, Ghost Squad, which is super fun and a little bit spooky. And there's also some YA picks on there. So go and check that out while we're working on our technology. All right, let's try again, yeah? I think you're muted. All the things. Leonora, you have friends here. Welcome. We're having a little technical difficulty, so we're working it out. I think, Leonora, yours says muted on your we're figuring it out. So this week we're highlighting some Latinx books. While we're waiting, I would love to show you some of my favorites. I was just doing some research on statistics in publishing for 2019 that just came out from Lee and Low, which is has a blog that kind of tracks industry statistics on publishing and children's literature. I'm going to post that there. And it turns out that overall in the publishing industry, only 6% of authors, publishers, editors, all of those involved in the publishing process are Latinx folks. So it's a very small, that's a small percentage. I think it's growing a tiny bit, but not as much as we would all love to see. And when I read that statistic, I was a little bit surprised. And that's because we in our house sort of preference a lot of Latinx authors. So we have definitely more than 6% of our books are Latinx. So I think that's one of the things that we can do is like shift up our own library percentages so that, you know, maybe in the industry, we've got a 6% of books and publishing is Latinx, but we can consume much more of that and support much more than that to, you know, first of all, educate ourselves or see ourselves reflected, and also to show the publishing industry that we would like more. This book here, The Other Half of Happy, is the first children's book by this author. And she's also a poet. It is so beautiful. It is so, so beautiful. It's about being mixed race. It's about finding identity. There's a lovely middle school character and a grandmother relationship that's beautiful. So I would say, and I think that this maybe just won some kind of award. So pick this book up at the library or the bookstore. One of our favorites. I already showed you this Ghost Squad, which is on our July picks. I don't know about you, but in the summer, I used to love a mystery book. I used to read the Nancy Drew is what I would read, but this is much better. Ghost Squad is a great one. Sort of mystery adventure. A little bit of ghost for the campfire. I have another favorite that's also for middle readers, Dactyl Hill Squad. It has history. It's actually set during the Civil War. It has dinosaurs. Come on now. I will be later today writing up a blog post with lots of, with both of our July picks, some resources from Leonora from the library, because she put together a bunch of lists that will be great, I think, for summer reading. Also wanted to tell us about the summer reading program, so I hope that she'll get back to us to be able to share that content. Wondering who else is on here right now. We've lost our guests, so I'm hoping that some of you are listening, if you're looking for any suggestions for a certain age group, that's something that I'd love to help with. I'm going to show you a couple of other books while we're waiting. And I think one of them, let's see, this book right here, Love, Sugar, Magic. Yes. This one's kind of like an in-between. I'd say this is probably more like a 6th, 7th grade. This is a series, Love, Sugar, Magic. There's 3 books right now. And it's about some magical baking. I've mentioned it before, but I just think this is such a fun summer read. Maybe doing some cooking and reading or listening to this book. Two Rivers also has, both the library and Two Rivers have access to audiobooks too. I don't know, Jen, if you can put the link to the place where the audiobooks can be purchased for Two Rivers, but I think that's a nice thing that people don't always know about. As far as YA books that are Latinx, I do have a favorite that's back behind me that I'm going to grab. It's actually a series. I love it so much. And Taylor K. Mejia is actually from Portland. So not only is this a really great Latinx author, but also a local author. This is the first one in a series. It's a dystopian. Dystopian novel. It's set in a time where there's kind of an out group and an in group on this island. And the elites have this system of each man in power gets 2 different women companions to fulfill some of the household needs. And in the end, the women rebel and are part of a revolution. So this is an awesome book. We Set the Dark on Fire is the first one. It also has a really beautiful cover reminiscent of paper cutouts. I think it's so beautiful. And there's a second book that came out this year that is called We Unleash the Merciless Storm. And it's just really fun. It has some tension in it, of course, as a good book does, but it's mostly just like a great adventure. And in which women are also like definitely taking over and taking back power. So love that kind of narrative. So good. Taylor K. Mejia also has a book coming out in August that's called Paula Santiago and the River of Tears. And that's one of our August book picks. So that's the same author, and it's her first YA book that I know of. We're really excited about that. It talks about the myth of La Llorona, and is another kind of like slightly spooky adventure book with some magic in it. So I think that would be a cool late summer book. Other YA books, I actually have one, and I don't know if this is published yet, but this book is, might be. It's called Running. There's a couple of books coming out about elections. This, I think, is the first book of Natalia Sylvester, and it's about this character's father is running for office, and she's a Latinx character, Mari, and anyway, it's just like her reckoning with being part of an election, her own identity, like how politics look to young people. I think it would be a really good read leading up to November. And this one's called Running. And I'm pretty sure it's either out now. This is an advanced copy, but it's either out now or out soon. This one right here. So I highly recommend this. It's more real life. It's not fantasy, but it's definitely interesting and very pertinent with our election coming up. Maybe we should all be reading about elections and voting. I feel like there's one more back here. Oh, yes. So the Shadow Shaper series, which I think I highlighted when we were talking about art and activism. But this is the same author as the Dactyl Hill Squad, the one with the dinosaurs, but this is for YA. And it has a little bit of magic in it too. There are murals that sort of give information to characters in this book. And it talks about gentrification and identity, but it also has like a magical part, and it's a 3-part series, which I don't know. I love to read a series in the summer. Would love to know what some of your favorite series are, everyone out there. what you're planning to read in the summer. I love a series because you get to see the character development over time, and I just really appreciate that. So those are some of our top picks. We also, I don't have the physical copy because Jessica has it, I think, but Clap When You Land is a YA book. It's also in our book picks. Clap When You Land is written by the same person who wrote The Poet X and lots of other beautiful things. I think Acevedo, I hope that's her right last name, but if you look up Clap When You Land and Poet X, they both have, Poet X is written with a lot of poetry in it, which is really cool. And Clap When You Land is also lyrical. So those would be some good reads as well. Hoping Leonora can get back. It's hard to get trapped out in the internet land. Ooh, I have another one that is really a fun middle. I'm kind of into middle readers right now. I think they're just like a little less tragic because of the age group. And I actually just read We Are Not From Here, which everyone should read. I don't know why I don't have it with me. Oh, wait, I do. So I just read We Are Not From Here. This is definitely a YA book. So I would recommend this to be like maybe sophomore and up. This is, so Jenny Torres Sanchez has written other YA books. I haven't read any of her stuff, but I think before this book, but this book is getting a lot of press. It's about folks from Central America. So the main characters are from Guatemala, fleeing some violence that they're facing. And these three kids who are, I think, 13, 15, and maybe 16 or 17, travel from Guatemala and are trying to cross the border to the US. And they ride La Bestia, which is the train. And they encounter really a lot of obstacles. And I think the best thing about this book is that it really shows the inner life of these characters. There's Chico, Pulga, and Pequeña. And they're sort of all fleeing for related reasons, but different reasons. And they have different ages, so they see the world a little bit differently. But they are all depending on each other, trying to get to the US so that they can be safe. And I had, like, for real, I've been telling people to 100% read this because it's important. First of all, it's beautiful, just in terms of the humanity in this book. The writing is amazing, but also the reality of what's going on at the border right now. There's no way to look away. Like, we shouldn't be looking away. And this book is really emphasizing that. I cried a lot of times because this author just really brings everything to the heart. So 100% recommend this book, even though it is super sad. So after you read this book and start the revolution to free all the children at the border and have different rules about migration and immigration, you might want a lighter read, which could be even like Mercy Suarez, Changes Gears. Super fun book with a great main character, great summer read. You can tell, I think, kind of even by the cover, that it's kind of an adventure, real life, early middle school book. That's super great. I don't know that Leonora can get on. I think that what we should do is that we should invite her back. This is what I'm thinking, Jen. I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm thinking that we should invite Leonora back because she has so much interesting stuff to share with us. And maybe we can do some more extensive testing, pre-testing. It's weird. The green room worked fine, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we lost her. It was perhaps I'll find out what works with her calendar, but maybe the next session or the one after that, we can have her come back because she just has a ton of joy for reading, is such a wonderful person. We have tons to talk about. So let's have her back. And maybe as we wrap up, just remind people the July book bundles are available. That I put a link into the information on our site. And there are lots of great Latinx authors on there and other authors who are wonderful. We have our book club coming up July 15th for middle readers. We're reading How to Make Friends with the Sea which is by a Filipino author. And then we're reading We Are Not From Here, the book that makes your heart crush into a bazillion pieces for the YA, which I have to say, like, we all have to read this, but it's just like, it is serious. I was like, I had to be alone, just like crying. So, those are book picks. I know it makes you want to read it, but
those are the good books. Those are the books that are doing what books are supposed to do.
I mean, there's no, like, I was like, how do we this one is just like a call to action for sure. And it also, I think, for the right person, this is going to change your whole life. So, yeah. Are there any announcements from the bookstore you want to end with?
I think we covered it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Craft fair was awesome. We're closed this weekend. Brioche class if you want to learn a new knit stitch, and keep an eye out for what we're doing to support the Jazz Festival.
Nice. I want to say one more thing is that, we're going to do a book giveaway. We're still working on the details, but we're working with Two Rivers to do a book giveaway of the middle reader set of our books. And we're figuring out how to also do a giveaway of the YA set of our books for July. So look for more information on that. We will. And then email, like, I also just want to put it out there, but if anyone's looking for book suggestions, I'm putting my email in here because that's one of the most fun parts. I'm sure it is at the bookstore too.
Absolutely.
Is my email. So if you haven't heard a book suggestion that works for you, give me an email and I will hook you up. And we'll look back for Leonora coming in the future. I'm sure she'll come back. So.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye.